They say no brand is invincible, no matter how lofty its pedestal. But what happens when the one you thought was untouchable is crumbling behind its gilded facade? Louis Vuitton, the very name that has long been a byword for opulence, aspiration, and unattainable exclusivity, is reportedly teetering on the edge of financial ruin. A shocking, almost unthinkable fate for a house that once defined the very essence of luxury. The story began as a faint whisper in the rarefied air of fashion's inner sanctum, a rumor that gained traction with every hushed tip-off from industry insiders. From the chic boulevards of Paris to the bustling luxury hubs of Hong Kong, the iconic LV monogram, once a dazzling emblem under the flash of red carpet cameras, now carries a stain of scandal so profound it threatens to engulf the entire empire. For more than 125 years, that interlocking L and V has been the ultimate sigil of luxury, a symbol recognized across continents, cultures, and generations. When Georges Vuitton first unveiled his father's initials in 1896, it was a practical move to outsmart counterfeiters preying on Europe's bustling railway routes. No one could have foreseen that this simple geometric pattern would evolve into the ultimate status symbol, adorning the arms of icons from Audrey Hepburn in classic Hollywood to Rihanna commanding modern stages. Vogue editorials sang its praises, celebrities vied for exclusive pieces, and soon every social media influencer, from Dubai to Los Angeles, dreamed of flaunting that unmistakable monogram. It wasn't just a logo, it was a lifestyle, a shorthand for success, a ticket to the elite. Yet, beneath this glittering surface, a darker narrative was brewing, one that simmered unnoticed for years. Independent artisans, toiling in cramped ateliers far from the sparkling storefronts of the Champs-Élysées, began to notice something unsettling. Their own intricate handcrafted patterns, designs born of sleepless nights and painstaking labor, were appearing on Louis Vuitton prototypes. Small-scale designers, whose names never graced glossy magazines, suddenly recognized their motifs on boutique shelves. Reimagined as high-end handbags or accessories, sold for thousands of dollars they'd never see a cent of. At first, these creators approached Louis Vuitton's legal team, hoping for clarity. They were met with polite indifference, form letters, vague assurances, or outright silence. For years, they clung to the belief that it was a misunderstanding, a case of parallel inspiration in a crowded creative field. But then came the bombshell. Raids by Italian prosecutors uncovered damning evidence. Contracts revealed that handbags costing as little as €53 to produce in shadowy factories were being sold for over €2,600 in Vuitton's boutiques. It wasn't inspiration, it was wholesale appropriation, packaged with a markup so audacious it defied belief. The monogram, it seemed, was built on borrowed dreams. Enter Delphine Arnault, the poised and formidable scion of the LVMH dynasty. Raised in the marble-clad halls of the world's largest luxury conglomerate, educated at the prestigious Sciences Po and INSEAD, she had watched her father, Bernard Arnault, piece together an empire that spanned Dior, Givenchy, and beyond. As Louis Vuitton's executive vice president since 2013, Delphine proved herself a master of strategic growth. She spearheaded bold collaborations with artists and designers, steered the brand into the lucrative streetwear market, and expanded into unexpected territories like fragrance and hospitality. Her vision was clear: keep Vuitton at the forefront of luxury while adapting to a rapidly changing world. When whispers of the monogram scandal reached her ears, Delphine didn't flinch. Reports suggest she made a decision so audacious it sent shockwaves through LVMH's headquarters on Avenue de l'Opéra. She ordered an immediate halt to the entire monogram collection. This wasn't a minor pivot. It was a seismic move, akin to pulling the plug on the brand's most recognizable and profitable line. Behind the scenes, chaos erupted. Internal auditors discovered that warehouses, expected to hold months' worth of inventory, had been mysteriously emptied, with no clear record of where the stock had gone. The Shadow Line project, a highly anticipated fusion of monogram leather and avant-garde streetwear, slated for a blockbuster fall 2025 release, was abruptly canceled. Designers received termination notices via email in the dead of night. Their contracts dissolved without explanation. Models who had posted teaser images of the shadow line on social media found their accounts scrubbed clean by Vuitton's legal team, with cease and desist letters citing breaches of confidentiality. Meanwhile, finance chiefs worked around the clock, frantically reworking balance sheets to conceal the growing red ink that threatened to bleed across the company's books. In a move that stunned even the most seasoned insiders, a bankruptcy filing was quietly prepared, not prompted by courts or creditors, but as a rumored preemptive strategy to shield the brand from further fallout. This was crisis management on an unprecedented scale, unfolding in the shadow of a luxury market that was itself contracting at an alarming rate. Analysts estimate that over the past 2 years, approximately 50 million consumers have vanished from the high-end segment. Younger buyers, particularly Gen Z, are turning away from overt displays of wealth, favoring brands that align with their values of sustainability and authenticity. Geopolitical tensions have only worsened the outlook, with trade wars threatening to impose crippling tariffs on European luxury goods. Imagine planning a lavish Vuitton trunk show in Shanghai, only to face a 50% tariff hike in the US market, or a viral social media backlash accusing the brand of cultural insensitivity. In such a volatile climate, even a giant like Louis Vuitton can slip on the banana peel of public opinion. When news of the Monogram line's shutdown broke, social media erupted in a firestorm of speculation and outrage. Fashion influencers, whose Instagram feeds once shimmered with monogrammed clutches and totes, began deleting posts en masse, issuing disclaimers that they no longer endorsed brands that profited from theft. A-list celebrities, including a Grammy-winning pop star slated to wear a custom Vuitton gown at Cannes, made last-minute switches to rival designers, citing creative differences. In carefully worded statements, streetwear collectors, who once camped outside boutiques for limited edition monogram drops, took to YouTube and TikTok, posting tearful videos lamenting lost deposits and shattered dreams of owning a piece of the brand's legacy. On TikTok, where Louis Vuitton had recently enjoyed a resurgence among Gen Z through savvy marketing campaigns, the hashtag #LVBankruptcy went viral overnight, racking up millions of views. Videos dissected the scandal with a mix of shock and schadenfreude, as users stitched together clips of monogrammed bags with captions like, "When you pay $3K for a stolen design." The backlash wasn't just emotional, it was financial. LVMH shares, once a cornerstone of any blue-chip portfolio, took a nosedive, losing billions in market value in a matter of days. Analysts scrambled to revise price targets, while hedge funds publicly questioned Bernard Arnault's succession plan. Would Delphine's bold gamble cement her as a visionary leader, or would it mark the beginning of the end for a carefully crafted empire? LVMH's annual shareholder meeting, typically a choreographed spectacle of corporate unity, was anything but this year. The air crackled with tension as journalists noted the conspicuous absence of key executives. Board members deflected questions with vague references to ongoing investigations, leaving attendees whispering about what wasn't being said. Behind Delphine's drastic decision lay a bombshell discovery. Internal emails, uncovered last spring, revealed that senior executives had known about the design theft for years. To maintain the illusion of Vuitton's artisanal heritage, they had systematically covered their tracks, renaming pattern files, reassigning design credits to in-house teams, and quietly expunging invoices from small-scale creators whose work had been pilfered. When Delphine read those emails, sources say she slammed her Hermès planner shut and declared, "We end this now, or it ends us." Her reputation as the potential heir to LVMH's throne was on the line. She could either confront the scandal head-on or risk inheriting a legacy tainted by deceit. It was a defining moment, not just for her, but for the future of the company her father had built. In the gilded corridors of fashion power, this moment is already being hailed as a coup de théâtre, a dramatic, almost operatic act of defiance. Bernard Arnault, often called the Warren Buffett of fashion for his cool-headed strategy, is known for weathering market storms with unmatched poise. Yet in this, the fiercest challenge of his career, his daughter seized the reins, ordering Monogram logos stripped from boutique windows in a single night. It was a power play worthy of a Renaissance court, the next generation rejecting the complacency of the old guard, willing to sacrifice immediate profits for a chance at long-term integrity, or at least a shot at a clean slate. But the damage is undeniable. In Milan, runway stylists are refusing to work with Vuitton until the controversy subsides, wary of associating with a brand under such intense scrutiny. In Tokyo, resellers report Monogram sneakers and accessories plummeting in value by as much as 40% overnight as collectors rush to offload their stock. In New York, boutique owners hold hushed meetings behind closed doors, debating whether to pull all Louis Vuitton inventory from their floors to avoid being caught in the scandal's crossfire. The Monogram itself, once the most coveted logo on the planet, now carries a warning label, breathtakingly beautiful, but potentially toxic. This is more than a fashion scandal. It's a parable for the age of modern branding. In a world where transparency is the new currency, legacy brands built on secrecy and mystique risk collapsing under the weight of their own carefully curated myths. The LV Monogram was more than a pattern. It was a story, one that promised exclusivity, craftsmanship, and aspiration. But when consumers peek behind the curtain and see the truth, exploitative production lines, obscene profit margins, and a network of unpaid artisans, the magic evaporates. The Monogram, once a symbol of untouchable glamour, now feels like a relic of a bygone era. As the Monogram vanishes from boutique displays and bankruptcy rumors spread like wildfire, the question isn't just whether Louis Vuitton will survive, but what will emerge in its wake. Could this be the moment for a new wave of ethical luxury brands, ones that are transparent about their costs, fair to their creators, and agile in their design processes? Some speculate that LVMH might attempt to reinvent the Monogram, perhaps launching a Monogram 2.0 with AI-generated patterns and blockchain-verified provenance to restore consumer trust. Others believe the brand will double down on its non-monogram lines, leaning into minimalist designs that appeal to a younger, more socially conscious audience. Whatever path Louis Vuitton takes, one thing is certain: the era of unquestioned luxury is over. The House of Vuitton, when it finally emerges from this crucible, will bear the scars of its own hubris. Every monogrammed bag, every leather bracelet, every city dweller sporting that iconic LV patch will carry a piece of this story. A cautionary tale of a brand that chased exclusivity at the expense of its soul. The next time you see someone flashing that familiar logo, pause and consider the saga beneath the shine. A tale of ambition, betrayal, and the high cost of secrecy. No empire, however grand, can outrun the truth forever. The Monogram may return, reborn and rebranded, but the lesson will linger. When you build your legacy on stolen dreams, your house of cards risks collapsing with the slightest shift in the wind. Louis Vuitton's fall from grace serves as a stark reminder that in today's world, authenticity and accountability are the true measures of a brand's worth. That's the full scoop on PopList Central's deep dive into Louis Vuitton's Monogram meltdown. If this scandal has left you reeling, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button, then tap the notification bell to stay locked in for our next luxury exposé. We've got more jaw-dropping stories in the pipeline. Think Gucci's clandestine factories, Rolex's murky supply chains, and whispers of Dior's secret alt-world connections. Drop your hottest take in the comments below. Which fashion titan is next on the chopping block? Smash that like button if you want us to tear into another luxury giant, and share this video with your friends who live for unfiltered industry tea. Let's build the biggest community of luxury truth seekers on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and here at PopList Central, we pull back the velvet rope to reveal what they don't want you to know. Stay curious, stay bold, and I'll see you in the next one.